you let it go.
Speaking of 3 bands, Grant, we've got a draft for game number 2. Let's hop right into it.
All right.
All right, here, what do we got?
Broodmother banned out. Surprise, surprise, boys. Didn't think that would happen.
Is there an Arc Warden?
There's not.
It would have been banned already.
Yeah, he would have been first banned by either team, I'm sure.
I'm happy with the
This
Broodmother
pool
ban.
actually is very interesting. There's like nothing that's super really good, I think, that you're going to see first pick besides maybe like Oracle.
So the Warlock jumps out to me as a potentially valued pick, but there is a Kunkka in the pool. Actually, we got a tweet the other day of someone really hoping for a Sumail Kunkka. So we'll see if their wishes come true.
Happen, I'm sorry.
I'm going to say it's a low % chance, but just wanted to throw it out there. There's potential.
It's like a 0.1% chance of actually happening.
Come on, Mott, you got to believe,
If
man.
it actually happens, I'm sure I'll do something crazy for it, but I don't ever see that happening.
There's a Medusa. It's actually 2-0 in the tournament right now. Just all right. 100% win rate. Not picked that much, but Enigma instant pick.
And then Warlock can counter it. It's just like, okay, Black Hole, just kidding. You got Chaotic Offering on you.
And especially now with the Aether Lens in the game, it makes it way easier for Warlock to find those interrupts. But we could end up seeing that kind of arms race type deal where both heroes are holding those ultimates, and that threat of it being available is almost scarier than using it.
Yeah, it is. And Enigma, obviously, most likely it could be an offlane, but most likely going into the jungle. Another greedy kind of jungle hero for EG, and they got away with it,
I guess a
times
read
now?
from PPD that kind of limited heroes to really punish it. You look at the support pool, and not a lot that can really roam and pressure the Enigma that hard. Ogre can be really annoying, but Coddle, Shadow Demon, Oracle, they're not the kind of heroes that'll be able to roam and pressure the Enigma in those first few levels.
Not many good mids here. Warlock has so much sustain with the Shadow where you get an ult talisman, and they also pick up the Tiny too. Which
no one Tiny.
Yeah, I mean, like they don't even have to send Warlock mid either, which is the interesting thing. They could just send a Tiny mid, they'll be fine.
I mean, we've seen the offlane Warlock played by Bulldog. We've seen a couple of the position 1 just farm up that Aghanims really fast. I mean, Midas Aghanims Refresher is still a very potent build on Warlock.
It is, and I'm looking at the Phoenix for EG actually again because it's so good versus the Warlock. Like he just flies in. If he gets off a few spirits, they're not gonna be able to take that egg down. You want to fight around Warlock as a 5-man, and Phoenix can completely disrupt that.
That's a really good point. I like that.
The carries, there's not many early game team fight carries besides the Juggernaut. Juggernaut, Mirana maybe. We've seen a lot of carry Miranas actually this tournament.
I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Timbersaw picked up, maybe put in the safe lane, because Smel's done that before. I don't know, though. This is tough.
EG
also been picked up a lot, too.
Look at a little bit of push potential with the Dragonite. That pairs pretty nicely with the Enigma. But okay, they take the Shadow Demon.
Looking like an old school draft right now as Shadow Demon Enigma. Okay.
And the very top hero there, Sven, I think, is extremely good here. The armor, obviously he's going to go BKB, so he's pretty decent versus Tiny in the mid game, and he's tanky enough to survive the initial Blink Dagger pickup. And there's the Phoenix.
Good call on the Phoenix, Grant.
There's a lot of team fight from both teams right now. But, yeah, okay. I mean, Splash just keeps playing that Juggernaut. He's going to keep going back to that well.
Some good sustainability potential, though, from Vega between the Shadow Word as well as the Healing Ward.
Yeah. I'm interested. I think these are their 3 cores right now, so I'm assuming these last 2 picks from Vega are going to be their
support Warlock.
What support is available?
Really
There's like Ogre, Coddle, and Oracle. Oracle did not work well for Vega last game.
I think Ogre is pretty nice here for Vega. The Bloodlust is great on Tiny, and but they'll go with the Mirana instead.
Like no setup besides Toss, really, or Avalanche, I guess.
Or, I mean, a Shadow Demon if he tries to save his own.
Yeah, that's
true. Do you think this Mirana could have been a potential deny pick, just to not hand over the Mirana Shadow Demon
I mean,
combo?
It could have been, for sure.
It's not a bad thing to do, yeah. Shadow Demon Mirana is just
But then again,
insane.
they already have Enigma Shadow Demon, so it would have been a core Mirana. Not that that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it a couple of times this tournament, but...
It's still just
like
such
an
a potent
Artesia,
duo. Yeah. A great way to control the Tiny in the mid game before he gets the BKB also, if you hand that over.
I think you're right on this DK. I think DK is really good as a mid hero. DK versus Tiny, and it's an interesting lane. You assume it's going to be a dual lane. Every time we see Tiny, it feels like a dual lane for Tiny. So
DK Troll, that's what I'm calling for EG. I don't know why I'm feeling the Troll, but
I feel like
like this.
I feel like Storm could be okay.
I'm just feeling it, Grant.
Storm,
yeah, you're right. Actually, Storm
that's
could
like
work
that is
well.
a Sumail hero. He's like one of the few people that can still play it. It's maybe okay in this draft,
and it should be able to get do okay in the laning phase. Oh,
there we go.
They take
right,
Medusa
well,
Slardar. Wow, we're way off the mark here.
Will they break it? The curse of the Slardar.
9 currently.
So Medusa currently 100% win rate. Slardar 0% win rate. What's gonna happen?
That is interesting.
This draft is the strangest thing from both teams that I've seen in a long time. I don't know what to expect. They have just such a weird lineup, man. Dear God.
They do. It looks like EG kind of, they don't mind fighting mid game, but they're gonna kind of want to farm up, like get the Enigma, his like core, maybe Blink.
To be honest, the Shadow Demon Slardar is a really scary duo early on. You get the free Slithering Crush from the setup with Disruption, but also the Soul Catcher. Slardar already hits like a truck. You get a couple of bashes in there, and that damage amp is big.
Yeah, and I feel like they can still kind of push with the Enigma, but the rest of their draft doesn't really promote that much. It pretty much comes down to getting a pick with those heroes that you talked about, with the Soul Catcher, the amplified damage, and then like transitioning that into a push, and then allowing the Medusa to just farm elsewhere.
I like
what?
So it's a support warlock.
A support warlock.
What's going
and an
on?
anti-mage.
It's a Jug and an anti-mage on the same team. Is this not like...
No, it's a
support Jug?
It's going to be the Jungle Juggernaut.
Oh my god, this is actually insane.
Greedy position for Juggernaut, off-lane Mirana. Wow. Well, this is definitely different than we thought. I can't
Vega,
wait.
What are you doing?
Can't wait to hear what our casters think about this one. And with that, we're going to hand it over to Sunsfan and Purge for Game 2 of EG versus Vega.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the PIA Captain's Draft 3.0 presented by Dota Cinema and moonducktv. This is the grand finals, best of 5 between Vega Squadron and EG. Game 2. Game 1 went to EG. Purge, this draft makes no fucking sense, bro.
I don't think there's anybody in the world that's qualified to analyze what's happening with this.
What is happening, dear Lord?
All right, they swapped. Okay, they changed it up. They swapped their heroes.
Right,
Solo
guys,
is playing tiny support, which
makes
more sense. Jug support can work. It's been done historically, but it's not very good. I do like Warlock support. I think it's pretty... Oh, I'm sorry. It's also changed. Mag is off lane. All right, off lane...
They still have another 15 seconds to swap.
Okay, offlane Tiny. Okay. Solo is now playing support Warlock.
Mind games.
Seam of the Slayer is playing support Mirana. This makes a lot more sense. The only problem with this is that they had to do a... They either had to do Jug mid or Tiny mid, in which case the opposite would go offlane. So...
Yeah, so Jug mid, that's also very interesting. Don't see that very often. And I think the pause is because of the swapping, is my guess. At least that's what they're discussing over all chat right now. Okay, no, they're saying there's internet issues, which of course don't have anything to do with these swaps.
Oh man, I love how everybody laughs at the same time because everyone reads it about the same speed here.
Everybody reads very slow in this house. In the moonduck.
So basically what Vega did with this last pick is they said, well, they picked Medusa. We can't teamfight into her very well. She's very tanky. Jug and Tiny are kind of bad against her because they're very burst heavy. So what they want to do is pick an anti-mage instead because anti-mage hard counters Medusa.
Yeah.
Because every point of mana that you drain from Medusa is a point of mana that would normally give her survivability. So anti-mage is very, very good against Medusa, but Medusa can be okay against AM. It just forces you to build different where you don't go super stat heavy. You'll usually go something like BKB with maybe a damage item for single target.
Look at this fountain effect on Solo. I have not seen that before. That's a very high-level compendium that he has.
Yeah, basically.
The thing that we didn't really talk about that we have in the past, at least, is the Warlock support. I believe you're not a fan either.
No, I actually
right?
I'm a fan of Warlock support.
You are a fan. Yes. My God.
I used to be a hater about it, but I think it's all right now. With skill points, you can be pretty valuable. You max out. You get like 3 upheavals at least, I think. 4 is maybe overkill, but 3 is very good. And then you can scale back into things like Shadow Ward and Fatal Bonds.
Are we talking about a 4 or a 5, or does it matter for you? Because I feel like it has to be a 4 in that case, and you have to get a little bit of farm.
You can get a little bit of farm. I don't think it's important to make a distinction, personally. I guess 5 is fine. I would like to see him get an Aether Lens this game, I think. Because if he just channels upheaval, I think his team can win the team fight.
So, can you explain that? I mean, it's 200 extra range, obviously, but I feel like his spells already have ridiculous range.
Upheaval does, yes. Not sure about Fatal Bond's Shadow Ward is normal.
It was more his ult and the upheaval together.
Yeah, so Chaotic Offering, basically what he's going to try to do is he's going to set super back in the fights. He'll maybe put his heal on his carry before his carry goes in, and then he'll ulti and channel upheaval. Right. So with the Aether Lens, he can be so far out of the battle, that's going to be hard for EG to find him. But they do have pretty mobile heroes with Slardar, for example, and Phoenix. They should be able to get vision. But the big thing comes down to Medusa's ulti. And in team fights, if Medusa is the focus from Vega, it's going to be very good for EG, because EG can disrupt the Medusa, and the ultimate from Medusa is going to turn them into stone, which is going to allow heroes like Slardar to do extra physical damage. So I think Slardar is kind of a good pick this game, because not only is it going to allow them to catch the backline and catch heroes like AM, but it's also going to amp the medium physical damage that Medusa puts out and make it somewhat respectable.
Very smart courier play here from EG, as Sioma is the one waiting to actually snipe that bad boy, but figures that he's not going to get it now. So we'll just have to go back and kill a creep with his arrow. How unfortunate for him. Already at halfway to level 2. That's the beauty of Mirana as a support hero. You can always find the levels as you roam.
Arteezy took a lot of damage to that Blade Fury in the mid lane, but no one's pretty much out of mana now, so I think that Medusa should be able to win this lane at this stage. I mean, no one's going to be able to last hit very simply, but he's never going to have mana due to the Mystic Snake.
I can't say I've ever seen this matchup in my life.
Well, I luckily played a Medusa mid the other day, and it's actually quite good if you can get the snake to bounce on your opponents a lot. Because
arrow will hit Arteezy, but no one has no Blade Fury like you talked about, no mana and the cooldown, but the right clicks might be enough. He's going to pop the mana shield. Will the right clicks actually be enough? Sioma's not going to get vision here for a little bit. His Fear has a Malefice if needed, but Arteezy somehow lives through that.
Any other hero would die there, but this is basically what the game is going to be. He eats an arrow and he still lives. Like, that's mana shield, man. Every point of damage he takes removes 1.6 mana or something like that. It's like 60% of the damage you take goes to mana damage instead of HP damage. So when he turns that on, he's fine. If he just gets like a bottle and a magic stick, or even skips the bottle and just has a little bit of regen, then he's going to be able to keep his HP up. He's going to be able to keep his mana up. He's going to snake the Juggernaut all the time. You did know. You're just messing with me.
Sometimes I can't tell if he just made a mistake and it's like, oh shit, I hit enter by accident, or if that's his joke. You never know it's an action.
Never will actually know. So it's just going to come down to can Medusa outlast hit Juggernaut, and his base damage is pretty high, so I think he can do it. I was hoping that was a gold star. Usually he doesn't put much into the gold stars, but you know, maybe he actually just misclicked and chose.
Oh my god, mid lane, Blade Fury is going to do a lot. No one. I don't know if that was a mistake as far as pathing, or did. Oh, they put a tree down. He put a tree down with his Iron Bench, blocked him off. That is an amazing play from Arteezy.
I've been waiting for somebody to do that, man. I talked about it too in the first patch, but nobody has done it.
That is sick. That is actually so sick.
And before that, I don't know how this... Oh, it only lasts 20 seconds. Okay, it's gone.
Well, Juggernaut had a tango, but I mean, you don't expect that coming out of a mid-lane Medusa. I mean, Jesus.
And once you spread the distance, then you're kind of screwed. You're not going to be able to get the kill.
Universe arrowed, by the way, in the top rune area. He does not have Icarus Dive. And this is going to be first blood going the way of Vega, unless he can deny himself to Ancients, but the last right click from the Mirana is enough. And Vega on the board.
Offlane, Phoenix level 1, not too surprised in there. The hero's just not very good in the offlane for this reason. You just get punished, and you get zoned, and you're going to have trouble getting experience. On the bright side, they've again got Fear jungling, this time on an Enigma, so despite him getting really behind in that lane, they should be able to do good in other ones.
Bottom lane, PPD is going to harass Mag a little bit. This was brought up in the pregame a bit with... I mean, you're a big Shadow Demon fan.
Yep.
And this game, we were wondering what was the combo exactly they were going for. Maybe it was a denial of the Mirana. But now you see a little bit of synergy. Obviously, any lane that has a little bit of burst damage and a stun from the disruption setting it up, with the Soul Catcher, extra damage coming out, and that's Slardar for this game. That's the combo, and it's pretty powerful overall.
It's actually going to really limit the anti-mage in the late game if you can get Soul Catcher off on the AM. So I kind of like the SD pick, and I think you're right. I think they picked it because Vega was likely to pick it and pair it with the Mirana. So
no one dealing a little bit of damage with the Blade Fury, but it's not going to be enough for Arteezy to be scared off. And the only thing he has to really worry about is the arrows. And of course, he lived through the first arrow. That was pretty much the full duration, I believe. And Universe in this nice little nook here. We've seen this quite a few times. Some of the teams, it takes a while for them to find him, but once they do, he just can't go back there. But he's getting some levels. Level 2 right now. Sioma.
It's working out really nice. I don't know how they don't see his little wingtips flipping through the trees. But
it's not a real world. It's a game.
And they're looking for him. They know that he got levels, but they're like, where is he? They're about to arrow for vision. They don't see him, though.
Did he arrow? Oh, he did arrow.
Yeah, that's why they were waiting there. So
Universe
will they check the spot? He can always... Like, it's actually crazy that this doesn't get vision. It's only because he's slightly low here. If he was standing here, he would get spotted like this. But because he's low, they have to actually check this clump. It's the only way.
How interesting would the game be if it was actually based on, like, the model size and or the fact that you're flying, that you would... What is that?
Was that Slacks?
It has to be.
Slacks has discovered a new vein of stat shit posting that he can do. He could literally just draw stupid things on the ground, and you know what? I'm okay
Universe
with that.
continue to get good levels though, and in the mid lane, Arteezy is going to dodge the arrow, so he will be just fine. But going back to PPD, the Shadow Demon this game, the beauty of Shadow Demon is once you get, he's holding on to a level right now. I assume he's just going to get max Shadow Poison because you can just go in the jungle, stack for your teammates, which is really good for Arteezy, or he can just farm himself, which he probably won't do.
They can maybe kill Mag here. He's got level 2 Soul Catcher. Can go.
That's a definite possibility. And there's the Disruption Soul Catcher. Sumail's a little too late.
Yeah.
That set, by the way, for Sumail. Oh, Solo in the meantime. TP's into a crush, essentially. Gets the Shadow Word off. He's taking quite a bit of damage, but will live through this engagement.
They can maybe re-engage here. He's got power treads on Sumail.
Oh, the Courier's going to get killed mid lane.
Okay.
And Arteezy and Fear are going to live as well. And no one just runs out of the way. He was trying to go for the kill, but went a little bit too deep.
Well, there's the upheaval under the tower. It's only level 1, so it's going to take a while to ultra slow, but...
Can you tell me if there's a more annoying spell in the game?
There's got it.
That's got to be up there, though, right?
I mean, you can just stun him. That always works. Oh! Ooh, that was close.
Arrow will not connect. Sumail's going to sprint out to safety. Do they have any good combos with Tiny Toss? Not really. I mean, you can toss a Chaotic Offering Golem.
You can toss into an arrow.
That's
Shoot an arrow at your ally and then toss him over. But that kind of requires you to be able to toss at the perfect time. It's kind of
that's... I mean, if they can pull that off, then all the power to them.
Just give them the grand prize money if they get one of those combos off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, the spin does catch no one. Lose a little bit of mana here. The Mystic Snake landing is extremely important because every time it lands, especially if it bounces from creeps, it can do a lot of damage and drains up to 20% mana of his max pool, that is.
This game is a little bit reminiscent of the last game where EG goes for a little bit of a greedy-ish lineup because they have Fear in the jungle and he's not being pressured at all. He's level 7 at 6 minutes, not too shabby at all, and he's going to be finishing the mech not too far off as well, as the Tier 1 tower is taken out with pretty much no defense.
It's actually going to be really hard for Vega to win mid-game team fights. I think the only way they win fights is if they burst somebody down. Arrow does land. He does mana shield in time, though.
In mid lane, we're seeing a Blade Fury engagement
no more ult,
as the Tier 1 tower is taken out at bottom. Fear doesn't have Black Hole. Looks like he used it a while ago. I didn't even see that. But either way, no one taking a lot of damage. His Universe comes into the fray with the Fire Spirit Supply. He pops the Fairy Fire, and the Healing Ward will keep him alive. Very nicely played from no one.
I don't remember Black Hole being used.
Yeah, I really don't.
We were probably talking about something really
I'm sure it was when Slacks was drawing on the screen. Probably screwed that up.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Wouldn't be surprised.
So they're going for a mid push here. They've almost got Mech. Sumail's in position as well. I like that he's rotated for this.
Do they know he's here? I guess not. There's no vision.
Probably not.
There's no wards in the bottom rune area.
Or Eidolon. Dying for the cause. Sumail in position. He's going to find Mirana.
Oh, he gets a bash into an actual crush. He's going to leap away to safety. So not enough damage coming out for Sumail, but he scares off the Mirana nonetheless.
If Universe would have dived on that, they could have gotten the kill. But tower gets last hit by Catapult. A little unfortunate there for EG, but they do get the tower and their early gold advantage. Keep in mind they're behind 3-0 here. But with Medusa doing this well, I think they're okay. It's kind of bad to take the tower this early, though. I mean, Arteezy's last hits are not very good. 34 last hits for him, 34 for Jug. At 7, almost 8 minutes, this is very slow compared to what he's normally at, but Medusa's just not very good at last hitting. Her animation is a bit tough. She's against a melee hero that she's trying to harass out of lane a lot. And that means that your CS totals are going to be a lot lower than you normally expect.
How do, for Phoenix Egg,
yes,
the creeps, what do they count as?
0. Nothing.
So, like, Golem would mean nothing, right?
What? Oh, the Infernal Golems? No, they won't. But they have an AM and a Jug who both attack fast. Mirana can amp up attack speed with Leap. It's not the best Phoenix game by all means.
Well, we've seen games like this from Universe as well, and he ends up usually finding some farm and some usefulness as PPD gets a Disruption Soul Catcher combination onto Sioma, who has the leap available. We use the high ground to his advantage.
That was pretty good damage.
We'll get away.
And yeah, the egg isn't amazing here.
Mid lane, no one gets an Omni Slash off with Mag and the Avalanche Toss combination.
Wow.
Somehow that wasn't enough damage to actually insta-give him. A couple more right clicks were needed, but my god, they get the kill.
Yeah, Tiny rotating over really helped the haste rune, made all the difference. If Tiny wasn't there, there's no way they kill him with that. But just enough. And they also got a little lucky in the fact that no one was able to Blade Fury and not get stunned there in time, because there was a chance that if Medusa saw that coming slightly earlier and used his ultimate before the Omni Slash came, that he could have just stunned them.
All right, so this is actually a really important question, because anytime we see a Medusa versus an AM, obviously AM in a lot of cases will get the better end of the stick because he's literally hard counters. But the item build for Medusa is typically stats-based. Do you go something different like BKB and just damage? I've seen that before, and it works quite well against anti-mage.
Yeah, I saw TC do that build once. He went like BKB Daedalus or something. So his survivability is far lower than it would be if he had like a Scotty and a Lincoln's. But if you get your mana pool that heavily, that big, then as anti-mage drains your mana, he just ults you and he kills like everybody on your team.
Right.
So if you just go like BKB Daedalus and your mana pool is more like 800, and it's not as big of a detriment. Plus, if you have BKB, he can't actually drain mana when he hits you. So it's kind of a hard balance to strike. We'll see if Arteezy can make the right item choices, but it's not going to be an easy game for him by any means on Medusa here.
Yeah, and I mean, the way EG drafted, they obviously did not think, they knew AM was in the pool, but they didn't think that Vega would actually pick it, considering they already had the Juggernaut. And in a lot of ways, this could work out to EG's favor, because you forced Vega to pick a lineup which is very unconventional. I mean, right now they're off to a very good start, obviously, but if you look at the net worth, it's actually EG that's slightly ahead at the moment. That's a lot to do with the jungling fear.
Exactly. The experience gain is about the same, so they've been having just a fine game. Solo on the support Warlock, by the way, is level 5, so they're doing really well. If he hits 6 here, the next fight's going to be great, and I absolutely agree with this skill build. 3 upheaval, 2 Shadow Words. That's everything that he needs to be contributing well in the mid game, and he's going to go for a wand, brown boots. I could see him doing a lot of good things.
Vega applying pressure to the mid tier 1. Universe trying to push the top tier 1 for himself, but
they've got a blink on Sumo.
We're going to see some TP action. Arteezy coming in as the arrow will not connect on anybody other than an illusion, as Pasha taking tons of damage, attempting to run away, but Universe has a lot of catchability for himself. His Black Hole used on Solo, and down goes the Warlock, who's still not level 6.
Such a huge fight there by EG. I mean, the first one's really important. They killed the AM. If you can kill AMs before he gets Battle Fury, it changes the whole acceleration of the game, especially when Medusa's getting an advantage through that fight.
And so he had a double damage the whole time as well. Sioma attempting to run away, but the stutter step will get him killed, and probably was dead anyway.
Sumail with a very interesting skill build as well in Slardar. Not maxing out the stun, just saying, I want 3 points. Lowers the stun duration slightly, lowers the damage, but the higher bash chance is pretty nice to have. And he's playing Slardar a little bit differently this game, but it's been really effective.
And he has that Blink Dagger. We've seen it already come into play. And that's exactly what EG needs. They needed some sort of initiation. Arteezy comes in as the tank with that Stone Gaze. And if, I mean, Fear, he's going to have trouble once Warlock hits level 6, but if he just waits, you just wait for that Chaotic Offering to come out, because you kind of have to use that. Like, if you're solo, do you just wait for Black Hole? Because it may never come. Like, EG doesn't technically need it.
Yeah, he can't just rely on Black Hole, and they have other ways to stop it. They've got Arrow, they've got Avalanche, they've got the AM ulti. There's a lot of ways that they can stop
Well, once
Black
he gets,
Hole.
I mean, I'm assuming he's going to go BKB at some point, right? And then the Chaotic Offering is basically going to be the only thing is Fear. Gets Avatos combination. Arrow's going to completely miss. PPD taking lots of right-clicks damage to no one. Fear.
That's a dead.
He's going to be dead one way or another. The Mana Void is what does it. PPD. He gets a nice demonic purge on the blade-fearing Juggernaut, and he's just going to TP out and be fine. Very surprising.
Nicely done by Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon's very good against Jug, due to the fact that you can disrupt and then ulti Jug, and he's going to take damage from his illusions. And if you're curious about why his skill would look so bad, it's because it's on purpose. It's going to be really synergistic with both countering the AM, so making really strong AM illusions that attack and drain his mana. He can make it against Jug, and then Jug's illusions will crit himself. And if he gets 4 skill points in this, he can disrupt Medusa with Split Shot on.
Right.
And then he gets 2 Medusa illusions that do 60% damage for 12 seconds.
Oh, Mag finds Universe, gets the Avatos combination. That's enough to just burst that bird down to the ground.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Avatos kills him so easy.
Chaotic Offering is now online for solo. Have yet to see that yet, obviously. But yeah, like I was talking about, Enigma, Fear, I assume BKB is a definite choice here. The only thing that cancels it. I guess technically Toss could, right? But that's very difficult to pull off. I believe that still works.
Just depends how he wants to go. He could go more of a utility item like Rod of Atos. He could go Guardian Greaves, for example, which could help against anti-mage. Juggernaut's Invis, they don't even have a sentry here. Fear's going to get
Fear, you're going to be found out. Avatos combination into the arrow. Blade Fury as well. In fact, Chaotic Offering used for Arteezy. They're going to find the Enigma pretty easily. Phoenix Egg pops. He's going to actually get this off for sure. Arteezy, look at the combination with the Stone Gaze, slowing everybody to a crawl. No one. He's actually going to TP out, so he'll live somehow. Mag, in the meantime, has Blink available to get out if he needs to. Arrow will connect on Arteezy, as PPD is getting beaten down by this Chaotic Offering Golem. As the bash comes into play for Sumail, into a crush. Solo not going to get out of this one. Pops the Fairy Fire, but it's going to be too much damage coming his way. It's a 2-for-2 exchange. Wow. Arteezy did fall, by the way.
Warlock completely salvaged that fight. That upheaval meant that they couldn't chase the heroes that wanted to back off in TP. I think Jug, I believe, was able to get out. Supernova is synergized amazing with the Stone Gaze as well. Stone Gaze stuns for 3 seconds, and then Egg lasts for 6, so it gives them limited amounts of time to go for the Egg. So that synergy was really strong there.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that throughout this game. Black Hole still online for Fear, but I don't see why they would stop pushing this lane.
Yeah, He got pretty wrecked there, but the vision advantage that Vega's getting through invises and things like that is making a big difference. Sumail also goes from Midas, so he's going to try to scale better as a carry, which I like as a choice. He hasn't died yet, he's gotten kills, and he's going to be able to scale into damage items. So the more attack speed he gets, the more he's going to be able to deal with heroes like Anti-Mage.
Yeah, it's a great, I mean, Slaughter is a terrible farmer in general. You usually just go for that Blink Dagger, run around, and you might find 1, maybe 2 items in like a 40-minute game, but with the Midas, I mean, even the attack speed is going to be helpful for him since he has that Bash passive.
Yeah, it's huge. And he's almost got his Bash maxed out. And again, the skill build is pretty cool. Just keeping off 1 skill point of all of his abilities makes him at like, it's almost like he's level 14 right now is what it feels like while looking at the skill build.
Fear with that casual cloak. Puts down a Midnight Pulse in the top lane with a Malefice used as well. Mag takes quite a bit of damage, in fact. And Sumail's going to follow it up with a Crush.
Dangerous.
Arrow will not hit anyone as Fear and Sumail getting so slowed by the upheaval. They're in quite a bit of trouble. There's some support from Universe. He has the egg and dive as Sumail just get Omni Slash solo. No one just destroys him with that Omni Slash. And Fear is next on the list.
Big over.
Unfortunately, Universe can't do a whole lot to help his teammates.
Yeah, as soon as Sumail blinked forward, they realized that it was a bad call, and they spread out to split the Omni, but even Fear wasn't able to live, so.
So Arteezy has a Yasha. We see this a lot, Yasha into like Scotty instead of a Manta first, but I completely agree with what you said. I don't think he's going to go Scotty anytime soon, just because the stat points will decimate him.
You know, I think he can maybe go regular build due to disruption.
Really?
I think it's possible, because if AM goes in, he can cover him, you know? If he disrupts him and he makes 2 illusions that do 60% damage, that's like massively increasing damage in a team fight. So the anti-mage illusions for a period of time might actually be easily dealt with Medusa's illusion damage. But it's going to force Arteezy to increase those damage.
How long does AM has a Battle Fear now, by the way, but how long does AM stick with 1 level of Mana Break? A lot of times you see the 1 level stay there for quite a while just because of the disruption illusions actually just destroy AM himself.
It's going to be a long time. I don't see him maxing the skill out very much, but that's the counter as well. If he doesn't max this out, then he's not as good as Medusa. If he maxes it out, then he gets more countered by Shadow Demon.
It's a catch-22 is what they say.
It really is. This would be a perfect time for a Slack stat. Wow. I called it.
2 competitive games. It's just complete.
Dude, these metagame jokes those are pretty good. Pasha taking the Ancient Stack, getting a ton of farm, but the stun.
Oh, Sumail finds 2 with the Crush. He's going to get a Bash on top of that, and Solo's in a lot of trouble. Could get up the Chaotic Offering, but another Bash comes into play and cancels the animation. This is going to be a cleaned up Ancient Stack. They got a good portion of it, but EG will take the rest.
It's a huge kill there. They blink away.
Where did Shadow Demon die? He died bottom lane of his own accord, apparently.
To neutral creeps, or?
Oh, okay. No, Mag apparently took him out.
That's the scariest thing about an off. Mag is 5-0-3 right now. Like offlane Tiny.
Yeah.
If he just gets 8 levels and a Blink Dagger, he's just as good as any other core. Because for the rest of the game, he's just going to keep killing supports. It's a huge threat to PPD is the fact that Tiny's now level 11, Blink and Force. Like he's actually going to transition to a carry no matter what.
Well, Arteezy and company going to pressure this tier 2 bottom tower. Question is, will Vega want to defend? Of course, Chaotic Offering is online because it was never used in that last fight because of the Bash. His top lane, Pasha, takes down the tier 1 tower himself. In fact, the Dire creeps take it out. That's not what he wanted to have happen, but
that's a tough trade. EG almost has to go take Roshan, but also they need to defend towers as well, so I don't think they can.
I feel like taking Roshan against Warlock is potential suicide. It is so difficult. The upheaval for like ridiculous range.
So. And they're gonna come here and cast it.
I mean, then again, EG does have pretty good counter initiation spells. They have the egg, they have Arteezy's ult, and obviously Black Hole. So we'll see. Arrow hits Fear on the side. And that means Vega knows for sure that they're here. And Solo, there's the upheaval, being very annoying.
I think they just kill it. It's Solo. No, they're running.
Yeah, they're going to get scared off, I believe.
Okay, he canceled upheaval. They can definitely take it now. He saw that Solo anticipated them rotating around. Oh, he has a ward up there.
Upheaval down for 24 seconds now.
Now it's easy. Arrow?
It's going to be an easy, and the arrow actually helps them. As here comes the Chaotic Offering. Mag is attempting to steal. He's going to get the Aegis. And there's the Omni Slash to follow. Arteezy pops his ult, taking quite a bit of damage to the Blade Fury. But the egg, is this going to be a full duration egg yet again? It looks like it might be the case. Arteezy very low right now. The egg pops, stuns a couple heroes for Vega Squadron as the beautiful Mana Boy takes out poor Arteezy, and the Avalanche toss combination finishes off Fear. God. Great defense for Vega, as Warlock is the only casualty at the current point in time. Pasha The illusion's going to work on him. He's forced to blink out. But here comes the Mag with the toss, and PPD will be the 3rd kill.
What a fight for Vega there.
Jeez, Luis.
Okay, they saw the Roche with the arrow. The arrow gave vision. Then he knew when to go in with Tiny.
They killed Roche too.
He avalanche tossed it, man. You can't, like, you take... You take a lot of reduced damage, Roche does, from magic damage, so it's a little hard to kill it, but Avalanche Toss does so much damage that he was able to nuke them down and stun them during it. So nukes it down, gets the last hit, steals the Aegis, fight's completely turned around. And even with EG using their teamfight ultimates, they just weren't able to survive through that. The other problem was that Medusa took way too much damage. He took the brunt of the Omni Slash, the spin, and he just doesn't have the stats yet to be really survivable against all that damage.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind that Black Hole was also not used. He didn't really have a good opportunity. The fight was kind of split up to some degree. I mean, maybe it would have been... I guess I'd have to see the replay for that, but either way, Black Hole still online for EG, so potential is there for another team fight coming up. And, I mean, with these big ultimates, that's going to be a pretty big deal with the cooldowns. So Warlock down for 70 seconds. Does that mean EG wants to force a fight in the next 70 seconds? And it looks like that might be the case, actually, as I say that. Smoke is popped.
It's not a bad idea. It just comes down to initiations, really. If they can get on top of the Warlock and kill him, then just stopping upheaval is huge. Initiating on a core is really good also. But there's a lot of threats on Vega. It's upheaval, it's Omni Slash, it's Tiny. They're going to find Tiny.
Yeah, Tiny is found. The Crush will miss, and Mag with the Blink Dagger Force Staff combo gets out safely. They're going to get some wards down, is EG, but no kills will likely come. Although Solo...
Are they just going to walk into him accidentally?
That is going to be pretty crazy as the Moonlight Shadow comes out, but amplified damage is going to give them easy vision. And I feel like Sumail bashes every hit, every other hit.
He definitely bashes a lot here. He picks up an armlet for his damage item. Kind of an interesting way to play Slardar, but it does give him the ability to outplay, especially with bashes. If you're stunning somebody, then you can easily armlet toggle. And it's going to increase his damage by about 60 for the cost of a 2,000 gold item. Although I'm a little surprised he's doing this over an AC. Just because AC synergizes so well Slardar, but Armlet also provides HP, so...
He could get both, in fact. I mean, he does have the Midas, so he'll find farm this game.
Yeah, maybe that's why he did it, because he needs some item that gives him either lifesteal or regen, and Armlet gives you, what, 7 HP per second, so...
Alright, so I'm going to need some lessons here, Purge, as it looks like Sumail might be caught off. Mag with the Invis Rune.
So
or not the Invis Rune, it's the Shadow Blade now, my goodness. Crush will come out at the same time as the Avalanche, and Sumail in a lot of trouble. AM is here to drain that mana. Armlet toggling up, but it would only last so long as he drops to the deck. But Phoenix going for a Diffusal Blade. Of course, the Purge does not work on... I mean, it slows the golems. It doesn't kill them.
Is this a huge mechanics mistake by Universe?
Is there something else that we're not thinking of?
I think he's messing up really bad here, actually.
No one with the Blade Fury onto Fear.
The Diffusal does not one-shot the golem like it used to. It used to one-shot the golem, but it doesn't anymore because you can use the charges like on 0 cooldown. It would be way too good against Warlock if that's the way you could counter him.
Mid lane, Disruption, Soulcatcher into a Black Hole. Pasha looks to be dead one way or another. And a good solo Black Hole from Fear. That's a desperate kill they needed.
It's absolutely worth it. Just setting the Disruption up on that is a really great
Are we sure we're not thinking anything else that purges off?
Okay, it can maybe purge Shadow Word.
I mean, that's
it
not
can remove... I think that's it, man. It can slow his opponents, but it can stop silences, but Vega doesn't have silences. If he bashes him here, he could kill no one.
Oh, Sumail, you've used all your bashes, Gaben says, unfortunately. Yep. As Vega TP's out to safety. Yeah, if that's the case, then that is potentially a huge mistake.
It's literally a 3,000 gold waste. I'm not even kidding. Any silence, like he could have bought a armor item to be more survivable. He could have bought his team, like, I think they already have a Vlad's, but some kind of no, they don't even have a Vlad's. Some kind of armor item would be good. Some kind of team fight item. I mean, he's going to be really disappointed when he uses that on the golem. Like, this is literally, like, a lot of pro players sometimes might surprise you that they don't know every single mechanic thing. But the reality is that they get to where they are by having all of the other features of Dota, like great game sense, amazing mechanics, stuff like that. So maybe I'm not thinking of something. Maybe we're completely off base here, but right now, I think you could easily justify a different item over Diffusal.
You're dead, bro. Right-click, Avatar's combination, and blink away.
A Radiant Jungle there. Yeah, Mag's going to do this all game. He's 8-0-5. He's absolutely winning this game for his team.
Pasha. He was scouted by Sumail as Mag blinks right in his direction. Of course, Sumail has the Invis Rune right now. Oh, they see him because of the sentry. Now he's out of range. Another sentry is placed. Avalanche toss again into an upheaval. And Sumail, not what he was expecting. Looking for a solo kill, but instead just dies.
Yeah, there was just a sentry in the area due to the tier or the high ground ward, and spots him out and gets him a kill. That's Sumail now dying twice in kind of unfortunate ways that didn't need to happen.
Well, Arteezy is kind of going for a somewhat traditional build. I mean, this is the old school Lincoln, so does it stop? I guess it stops. Yeah, AM ulti. It won't stop the bounces though, and that's pretty much it. I believe Mana Void actually that's a huge one to stop actually. Yeah. Now that I think about it,
it's kind of okay. I just don't know.
It's actually quite good. Like, what else can they take off with? Because if it only takes off like
Shadow
those two
Word
things,
and
Fatal Bonds technically.
Yeah, if you cast it directly on him, but they're already going high ground here.
Yeah, Vega looking quite good right now. They have close to a 10,000 net worth lead, and they are prime in position to take Game 2 of this Best of 5 Grand Finals of Captain's Draft 3.0. Pasha going to be happy with the Tier 3 tower taken out, and they're going to fall back to safety. Although
he can use Diffusal Blade first, though, or that.
Okay, well, Universe dies right off the bat. Sumail misses the crush, and there's the Omni Slash, Moonlight Shadow, Chaotic Offering combination. No one Blade Fearing out. Looks like they want to play this defensively. As the Golem is taken out with ease. I mean, honestly, the Diffusal does slow Chaotic Offering, and once that initial brunt comes, like, you can kite them to some degree. Maybe that's something they're thinking about. Although, obviously, he died right away in that fight.
I couldn't agree with that justification. Just for slowing the Golem, like, yeah, but it's still a 3,000 gold item. If he spent this 3,000 gold on something that makes him survivable, he could actually just use his ulti there. He just died to
like a Shiva's would have been probably the choice.
No, Shiva's doesn't stop magic damage. I mean, like, he died to an Avalanche toss with one right click and an arrow.
So like a pipe or something like that?
Yeah, like a pipe or a Rod of Atos to give him 300 HP. Something like that would have made a bigger difference there than Diffusal Blade by far.
Oh, wow. Pasha going very defensive build with the BKB. Playing it super safe. Obviously, quite disciplined.
Safe. Normally, you buy at least one more item before you BKB, but he's got to deal with Slardar stun. He's got to deal with... I guess that's about it.
Is he literally just not going to upgrade his mana break past level 1 this game?
Very, very likely, yeah. It's pretty common to do this against Shadow Demon. So it's kind of good for EG there. Like, they definitely covered their Medusa pick by doing this. And again, Medusa will get stronger and stronger. I still think EG can scale well, despite AM scaling well against Medusa. If he just buys regular items and they disrupt him for team fights, it could do massive amounts of damage. You guys might be really surprised by the amount it'll do. Especially if he gets Manta as well. He could just all of a sudden have 4 Medusa illusions, split-shotting 5 targets. During the Medusa ulti,
Mag,
which means it amps.
At the secret shop, we'll find the Avalanche Touch combination. Not going to be able to take out Fear as he pops his mech. Sumail getting bashes left, right, and center, along with the Malefice coming into play. And the amplified damage isn't going to be enough to get the kill. And indeed it is.
Enigma's like, thanks for the 1,200 gold, bro. Goes home, buys a pipe.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's he purchasing here?
Yeah, he would have killed him if there wasn't the hood. I don't know if he checked it out, but... What a Defiance, man. That spell resistance does everything.
Indeed.
He actually didn't spend the money on the pipe for some reason. I guess he's going to save for a buyback, perhaps, is the goal. But that was a huge kill. Obviously, Meg was probably going to die eventually. Decent for them that it was Enigma that got instead of Sumail. I wonder if Sumail's upset about that, because that could have been his BKB.
Yeah, that's true.
Or gotten a lot closer to BKB.
I mean...
All right, they see the Eidolons mid, which reveals that they're smoked. Normally, you don't see that unless you use your eyes to check to see if the creeps appear.
So use your eyes?
No, I'm saying, like, if you look on the... Because you're not going to see the hero icons on the map. Yeah. So if you see the things appear, a lot of people will cast their spells because it doesn't break your smoke. So now Vega knows. They were a little too greedy with that. Usually you can get away with it, but Vega was paying attention.
EG greedy? What do you say?
Thanks, Purge. Use your eyes. That's how you play Dodo. Okay. I deserve that one.
Oh, Pasha, level 19 now, and I believe he's the highest level in the game. Indeed, 3 levels higher than the counterpart of his Juggernaut teammate. And he's just going to... I mean, they're playing pretty passive because, like you said, they know the smoke's happening, but now the EG is backed off. And they're just going to go back to farming. Sumail really needs that BKB before he can feel a little bit more survivable. I mean, that's the thing about Slaughter this game. He just feels super squishy. And the armlet helps in that regard because he can technically toggle things off, but it just hasn't worked out so far for Sumail.
Yeah, I think I just would have liked him to get AC instead. He's going to run out of item slots now because he bought another medium tier item with that.
Tiny, by the way, went for Hyperstun, so could be going AC for himself or potentially even a Moon Shard. Are you surprised by that, not going for Aghanim Scepter or anything?
No. If you play the ganking style, you don't really need the Ags too much. Just the Hyperstone alone, going into regular AC, still gives you really good damage. They're going in.
Oh, Pasha is found into a crush,
the hole,
and the Black Hole Soul Catcher used. And the Chaotic Offering is a little bit too late. The Anti-Mage will die, but the Omni Slash is going to tear up Fear. That's a 1-for-1 exchange to start this engagement. Arteezy pops his ult in the meantime solo. The Moonlight Shadow attempting to get away, but the Phoenix Egg feels like it pops every single fight, so very nicely done for Universe, as he's been using those Diffusal charges on the Chaotic Offering, it seems. And with that, it's a 2-for-1. No one pops the drums, and he looks like he'll get out okay.
He used a lot of Diffusal Blades there. I mean, if that's the goal, maybe it's all right, but I still think there's better items he could have purchased. But big fight there for EG. The initiation picks off the Anti-Mage, no BKB for AM. He was by far their most farmed hero. He actually gave them 600 gold for his death, so that was huge. Overall, great fight.
Well, Vega definitely knows that EG is taking out Roshan. The arrow will connect on Sumail. But without the Warlock, even if Warlock was up, he doesn't really have a whole lot. He has upheaval, and that's pretty much
Tiny
it.
can steal this again. They've got to kill this really soon.
They're just going to
and
back
they're
up.
scared. Warlock's still going to be alive.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, Tiny isn't even technically... Like, he's the off lane, and he's super farmed right now. He can burst damage pretty much higher than any hero in the game.
They're going to
right
get a
now.
kill mid?
Okay, well, I don't know how that happened, but Juggernaut dies. How did that happen? He's just farming mid?
I'm guessing Sumail initiated on him for a stun. I mean, they had a ward here, so they saw him coming. Maybe that's why they moved over.
Oh.
That's a huge kill. Now they can take Rosh for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, that one kill is a 1,500 gold swing. That just shows how far EG is behind at the moment.
Yeah.
Of course, they have a lot of potential for these fights. You have Black Hole. They have a great team fight, does EG. So Vega cannot get overconfident. Solo has upheaval, ready to go if needed. And there we go with... We saw the Sunray. I believe it was Universe as well in the EG game that we were casting. Come out and play a Fear.
Yeah.
Initiate on. Nice disruption by PPD. But it looks like Fear will drop one way or another, although
He's going to have a hood.
he's getting healed up. And actually, Pasha's the one taking a lot of damage. He pops the BKB, but he just gets ripped right through. And Solo, in the meantime, in the wrong place at the wrong time. The egg will come to fruition yet again. And Sioma does TP out, so that's a saving grace for Vega. But they've lost 3 in this fight.
I mean, the Fatal
Well,
Bonds
2
was
technically.
amazing, but it was just... They just didn't get any kills. Oh, they almost actually killed Tiny there. Spotted him out.
And
Blink
EG
Dagger on
is
Phoenix.
so... This is the one team that you cannot get overconfident with. They will take advantage of every little crevice that you give them.
And they're scaling so well now. All their heroes are getting difficult to kill. So even though Tiny had all this huge advantage, it's getting harder and harder for them to close the game out. Enigma finishes Guardian Greaves. I'm a little surprised he didn't finish Pipe first, but the survivability that he can give his team now and the cooldown reduction on Guardian Greaves is going to be huge.
Dire's bottom tower is under
And the
attack.
high ground defense will commence. They want to try to force out this AM buyback, but Vega might be able to defend with 4. We'll see.
They've
Mel,
got
in the
Black
meantime,
Hole.
picked up the Aegis, by the way. What's that?
They've got Black Hole and Enigma now.
They
3
still
seconds.
have it? Jesus.
And they have a Blink Dagger. Well, no, it came off cooldown.
Oh, okay, I see.
Used it a long time to go kill
Yeah,
the
that's
AM,
right,
remember?
that's right. Well, AM still dead for 15 seconds. EG will get a tier 3 tower at the very least.
All right, there's the disruption.
Disruption onto Arteezy. He'll have a Manta very shortly as well.
They're looking for heroes, but they see Maggie's invis, so they know he's there. These hit so hard, actually.
And Sioma's on the side as well. Pops the Moonlight Shadow. Here comes No, and he gets bashed up right away. This is oh my god, he gets destroyed, and there's no buyback for him. He didn't even get to use Omni Slash. Pasha comes in, but he gets Black Holed immediately. The Chaotic Offering will cancel things up as Fear gets destroyed to the Mana Void. Aegis will pop for Sumail. Arteezy on the run. The Mana Drain is just coming into fruition now for Vega Squadron as they're going to clean up Arteezy. And likely he's getting healed up thanks to the Universe on the side, though. Pasha jumps in, looks to right-click the Universe, but Pasha, he blinked in. He doesn't have to blink out again. He has buyback 80-second cooldown if he doesn't want to use it. Arteezy in the meantime drops to the deck. It's a 3-for-3 disruption by PPD. He's 1 hit away from dying. Sumail somehow blinks out. He might actually live through this.
Yeah, they thought he went to trees there, so he's going to end up living there. What a close fight.
Jeez.
Very close. They killed just about everybody. The person that made out the most was actually Warlock and Slardar here. Slardar, of course, having Aegis, so he didn't technically die in that fight.
Radiant
Good.
Surprising thing is Vega came out on top of that
And a
fight,
courier just
technically.
died for
courier?
3,500 gold. I was Radiant Courier. I think that was going to be Arteezy's items.
Yeah, that's actually a Scotty. So it's
That's
an
a
Ultimate
big loss.
Orb, Point Booster, and Orb of Venom.
Yeah, it was flying into him in the fight. If he would have had that, the fight would have gone quite a bit better for EG.
All right, so he's not going to be finishing the Manta. He's just going for the Scotty right off the bat.
Yeah, it's pretty... Okay, and they also lost it. Was there a gem on the courier? Okay, on PPD. But Scotty's by far one of the best Medusa items you can have. The survivability you get from it is... Nothing is even close to how much it gives you. So he's just going standard items. It's going to work decently against the AM, especially with the disruption. But man, that fight was really close. Great Warlock Golem to interrupt the black hole.
Yep, absolutely. That's the first time
that
we've
kept
seen
him
that
alive. And he's almost got his Aether Lens, actually. He's got the energy booster in the Ring of Health. He needs this big time. He needs to be able to channel Upheaval far enough away from the Medusa that the Stone Gaze doesn't proc on him.
He also has a Perseverance, by the way, so theoretically, with another team fight going their way, he could get a lot closer to that Refresher, which is in freaking sane. Actually,
yeah, I like that idea.
How often do you see Refresher before Ags on Warlock?
The only reason it's going to work is because he also has an Aether Lens, which increases his mana pool. Because you need the Ags to increase your mana pool so you can actually afford to cast it twice. So it's kind of a cool build, actually. I could see this becoming standard for support Warlocks, by all means, if that ever catches on. Aether Lens into Refresher.
Yeah, why not?
Definitely a good build.
Why not? Well, BKB is now officially finished on Sumail, so that's going to be a 10-second duration for him whenever he wants to use that. Fear should be able to finish this pipe if he wants to do so very shortly.
Phoenix has leveled up his Diffusal Blades. This makes me think that he did this on purpose then.
I think so.
And probably the reason is because if he keeps Diffusal Blading Jug, it really limits Jug's damage. So I'm going to assume that's why he's doing it.
Or he's just playing the real long con here. He's like, you know what, I made a horrible mistake. I just need to cover it up. Let's just upgrade it so nobody knows. Oh, God.
Well, I don't know. He's a smart player. The fact that he went for the second level makes me really feel
I mean,
like
if this was a pub game, I would be bashing my team. But because it's Universe, I'm like, there must be a reason.
Yeah, there must be a reason. It mitigates the Golem damage. It mitigates potential Jug damage if he just stays away. Who knows?
No one upgrades his Diffusal Blade as well, by the way. It has the SNY and Blink Dagger to go along with it. And I believe that last fight, he wasn't even able to get the Omni Slash off. And they technically held and came out on top as far as net worth is concerned. So just imagine him blinking in and then Omni Slashing. That would be
He really died fast. And the reason was because Medusa's ulti increases your physical damage. And he was amp damage, which further increases your physical damage. And at the end, he got Soul Catchered, which, again, increases the damage you take. So they have insane single target kill power if they do get those things off. At the very least, Soul Catcher is huge. Like, if they can initiate a fight by Soul Catchering the Anti-Mage, it's going to potentially win them the whole fight just because it doesn't get removed by BKB. So lots of little damage amps like that can make EG have huge swings of damage.
Fear is not going for pipe. He picks up an ultimate orb. I assume is going to be a sheep.
Well,
any other items you think?
I mean,
maybe Lincoln's? Is Lincoln's
I still think he should get the pipe.
Don't think Lincoln's is good.
I think it's going to be a Hex, most likely. Yeah, Lincoln's isn't good if it's Warlock Golem. Hex is great against Anti-Mage. He's got a Blink Dagger, so definitely Hex. I still think he should finish the pipe, though. It's a cost of 1,600 gold. It's not expensive. 1,400 gold, actually. He could spend 1,400 gold, give his whole team a 10% magic aura, and as the fight's starting, pipe them up, which could give heroes like Shadow Demon 400 extra HP. Yeah. Like, it's so worth it. I don't agree with just the hood. I think it was smart that he got the hood to survive the tiny one-shot. But
the courier, Mag was really looking for it. Used both the Force Staff and the Blink Dagger, isn't able to find it. And that means a finished AC for Sumail.
All right, and now Slardar does massive amounts of damage at this stage.
Yeah,
it's BKB, AC, Armlet. The only thing he really dies to is maybe Omni Slash, but that's going to be heavily reduced because of the AC. And they've got a
finished his AC as well, by the way, so they cancel each other out to some degree.
All right, are they going to go? Okay.
Pasha, initiated on by Sumail. There's the Omni Slash. Sumail pops that BKB. There's the Chaotic Offering on top of it. Blade Fury, no one. Trying to position himself nicely as Universe. Dives in, has his ult available. If the Chaotic Offering Golem is just going to be taken out pretty much no problem. Yeah. And with that, EG might just reset and try to go again now that Chaotic Offering's off on cooldown.
Well, they're going to have to heal Slardar some way. He is getting some urns right now, but Butterfly up on Anti-Mage, that's really big. Because Sumail just finished AC. He's going to have to get an MKB afterwards, most likely. Oh, they might get Mag, though.
And Mag Malefist up. Was that his Force
Yeah,
Staff?
it was. He messed up.
Oh, that was a huge mistake as Tiny gets decimated by Sumail's right clicks with the amplified damage. There's no way he's getting out of this. And that's 75 seconds, no buyback. Of course, EG doesn't know this for sure. They might try to force it. I mean, Chaotic Offering is down. Omni Slash is down. Why not fight? I mean, look at the spells for EG. Black Hole is up. Phoenix Egg is up. Medusa's ult is up.
Yeah, they definitely go high ground here. Universe heals him up using Sunray, and now he's extremely survivable. Universe is going to sit in the back, wait for the proper opportunity.
Look at the range, man.
Heal if needed. Yeah, he's actually not even on the same screen.
He's literally in his fountain, basically.
That's Aether Lens, man. It's pretty recent. But can they backdoor? Oh, he goes in.
Oh, my God. Solo initiated on by Sumail, and he gets insta-give 60 seconds on the deck for him. And this is a 3v5. This is a full rack, maybe even 2. Bottom racks is going to be easily taken out. No defense for Vega. And the mid lane will be the choice for EG and company, as they have made a huge comeback in this game.
Yeah, they're playing really well, but they just have so many damage amps. It's hard for Vega to deal with it. Anti-Mage in the meantime is split pushing bottom though, so that Rax could be threatened. I think EG's okay trading 1-for-1 at this stage though.
I don't think they need to. I mean, they can take this out and TP back, I believe. They can just start TPing back now as Pasha's working on the melee Rax at bot lane. Fear's going to jump in with his black hole. A couple more TPs are going to be a little bit delayed. Pasha has the BKB in tow. Will blink out to safety. Will not get the Rax though. That is a huge gambit. Pasha in the meantime gets Diffusal Blade slowed. Will blink out again. Universe, I don't think he can catch him. He's going to try to cancel, but no. Nothing is going to come in. That's 2 Rax for EG, and they save bottom. I mean, a sacrifice in Sumail is well worth it at this point.
Juggernaut almost died as well. Looks like Sumail tried to outplay him there, but they saved the barracks. That's all that matters. Huge save there. That gives them a 2 Rax advantage, which is going to make the game really hard for Vega coming out.
Vega had a 12,000 net worth lead at one point, and I don't know if this is updated yet because I think the later the game goes, the slower the graphs are to update, but EG is definitely ahead right now.
Yeah, very clearly ahead. Their team fight is far better. Vega has very good split push, but the Warlock is just going to start scaling poorly as a support at this stage. Upheaval has been very useful in a couple fights, but because EG has so much mobility on their carries, like Slardar and Enigma and Phoenix now, they can usually disable him, and once they stop Upheaval, the hero is pretty bad to have. They need either good Fatal Bonds. They basically need a good Fatal Bonds for Warlock to be useful. They're going to get Roche, though.
We need a free Roche. That's Cheese and Aegis. Cheese will go to... Actually, Skull Basher's drop. Was that Pasha's Skull Basher?
Yes.
All right.
Makes sense. The Basher's still very good, but surviving twice
yeah.
is...
So he has the Aegis. Who picked up the Cheese? Tiny has the Cheese. Okay. Not a bad choice.
I think Ortizi's in a good position finally, though. He's got Lincoln, Scotty, and now a Butterfly. So even though his enemy carries are in some ways close to him in farm or surpassing him, he's very evasive now. So them trying to kill him in a short period of time is going to be so much harder. So Vega kind of has a death push now. They go to the bot lane.
Yeah, I feel like this is an all or nothing here thing for Vega. Of course, buybacks are online for a majority of EG, so we'll see what happens in this engagement. Melee, Rax is the choice. No one already close to half HP, and the Crush follows suit. Healing Word in a nice position. Avalanche toss combination from Mag. Black Hole, is it available? Not for 30 seconds. Chaotic Offering. Phoenix Egg comes out. They haven't killed this one time, by the way. And this fight has not had a good start, at least not yet for Vega. Solo getting bashed. Crush on 2 or 3, and no one has already used his ultimate. Omni Slash is off cooldown, and that's already a Warlock dead. Juggernaut is next. Not looking good for Vega, as the Crush is going to cancel the TP for Sioma.
There's a Courier, too, with the Skull Basher.
Yeah, Courier with the Skull Basher is available for the taking.
They're chasing. They want more heroes, though.
Well, it looks like at least Mag will get out. Pasha as well. Still has the Aegis, so that's at least one silver lining there for Vega. But they lost that fight heavily, and EG could potentially just go top now that, again, the Chaotic Offering is on cooldown for quite a while.
Did he see the Tiny here? He's going to try to catch one. They have the ward. Okay, not going to get him. Sumail's attacking so fast now. It's very difficult for Jug to stand up against that because he can get bashed through spin, for example, and his Omni Slash is really not doing much anymore. You can't go these hybrid Diffusal Blade builds, I don't think, if you're against a true hard carry, because it's just not going to scale very well against them. I think he needed to buy maybe an Abyssal first or something.
Well, the buyback comes into play for no one on the Juggernaut. He does not have Omni Slash for 45 seconds. I have a hard time believing they're going to be able to defend this without some sort of miracle. As here comes the initiation, Pasha was disrupted. But look at the damage, the right clicks. It was like 3 or 4 right clicks.
That's Soul Catcher, man.
Oh, Sumail trying to time the Crush perfectly. The Manta actually dodges it quite nicely, but again, too much damage in the way of EG. Arteezy takes out the Rax, and that is Mega Creeps going the way of them. And this looks to be a 2-0 advantage for EG in the grand finals of Captain's Draft 3.0. GG's come out. Black Hole, just to add insult to injury, Pasha will die one more time. What a game from EG.
Vega played very well going into it. I mean, Mag had an incredible performance in the offlane. He scaled, he ganked carries, but EG, again, they went for a 4-core lineup similar to the previous game, and they just eventually had better teamfight than their opponents. And it's great to see all these heroes get picked and the synergy between them. Medusa looked completely fine against Anti-Mage that game. So EG just out-teamfights their opponents, they out-gank them a little bit, and Vega wasn't able to take victory number 2. They got to pull it back. They're close. They're almost winning their games.
I mean, EG just took really well. Like, the advantage they took in every small mistake that Vega made, and they just snowballed it in their favor.
And every fight was so hard. Every time Medusa used ult, Phoenix would use Supernova, and no one would even touch the egg. They wouldn't even try. They're like, okay, they use their ultimates, can't fight. And that's so hard to deal with, especially when there's a Shadow Demon on back of that, meaning that you can save whoever gets gone on as well. Such hard fights there for Vega. They couldn't take the win.
So with that, EG takes the 2-0 advantage so far in this best-of-5 grand finals. Will they take Game 3, or will Vega fight back? We'll find out soon after this short break. We'll see what the panel thinks shortly after.